Yeah,
Right,
go,
so
go.
I started recording.
Okay.
I'm gonna go live.
Okay. And then I'll just start when I hear the music. No, when the music ends, I guess.
Right. And then let's see. In the meantime, I will work on my background. Oh no, I don't know what. Oh, because I got the wrong name. That's why, because I did it under studio, not, you know. I was so clever and then I wasn't.
Ashley,
Yes.
that's like live. Oh my God.
What?
We've got the channel on and
Uh-huh.
it's like what you're doing behind the scenes.
Oh crap.
That's okay. It's the gathering. Everything is allowed and everything is okay. Oh crap.
Audio. Tell me she needs to know.
You need to hit OK for recording, Ashley, because I can see that on the screen on the TV.
Tell me she needs to.
You need to hit OK for recording, Ashley.
No, I think that's you, Terry, because I'm already recording.
No, I already hit that though. That's not my screen. You need to hit OK for recording.
No, I think that's you, Terry, because
Oh,
I'm already
something
recording.
changed.
No, I already hit that though. That's not my screen.
I said she.
No, I already hit it. That's not my screen.
I said she.
All right. Hold on. You know what? It's the other one. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You're cooking. I said she.
No, we'll still have 1 hour. We will still have 1 hour. Okay. No worries. We will still have 1 hour. It's the other one. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You're cooking.
No, we'll still have 1 hour. We will still have 1 hour. Okay. No worries. We will still have 1 hour. It's the other one. I'll be right back.
There's a little bit of technical difficulties. Stand by, viewers. There's a little bit of technical difficulties. Stand by, viewers.
Your 5 viewers are loving this.
There's a little bit of technical difficulties. Stand by, viewers.
Your 5 viewers are loving this.
You see me do that? They don't have me on yet, do they?
Your 5.
Oh.
Terry, you're right.
You see me do that? They don't have me on yet, do they?
Your 5.
Oh.
Okay, it's tied up. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. This is the gathering in the Twilight Zone. There's nothing wrong with your TV.
That's a good one.
This is the gathering in the Twilight Zone. There's nothing wrong with your TV. This is your gathering.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I can hear you. That's a good sign.
What's that?
I can hear you. That's a good sign. I can't see you though.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
I can hear you. That's a good sign. What's that? I can hear you. That's a good sign. I can't see you though.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we're gonna start the show with the Alaska, which is the drink.
Okay.
I think we're gonna start the show with the Alaska, which is the drink.
Okay.
I think we're gonna start the show with the Alaska, which is the drink.
This is actually pretty cool. This is actually pretty cool.
Wow.
This is actually
Wow. Wow. This is like that show, all dressed up and nowhere to go.
It's interesting. Things are not good.
Yeah, it's true. Hey.
Hi. All right. So my virtual background, I don't know, I must be wearing the wrong color because it decided that I was completely green.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
Are we on? Do we have music or are we going right into it?
We will go into it in a moment. Here we go.
All right.
Hello.
Are we on?
We will go into it in a moment. Here we go.
All right.
This is actually
Hello.
check.
Judy Burlight.
What's that, Judy?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go at 7:05. Ready?
Yes. Judy Burlight.
What's that, Judy?
Okay. So we'll go at 7:05. Ready?
Yes. Judy Burlight.
What's that, Judy?
Okay. So we'll go at 7:05.
Do I hear the music?
Okay.
Okay, are we live? Hello. Do I hear the music? Chris, please turn that down. Hello and welcome to the gathering. A little technical difficulty there, but here we are. And you know, this is the gathering, so everything's okay, right? So welcome. Hi, Ashley. Nice to see you.
Hi, Jerry. How are you?
I'm great, great. So good to see you. It's been a while.
It has. It has. It's lovely to see you too.
Yeah, so I want to say hi to the viewers. I hope you're all well, and a special hi to Judy. I know you're out there, and she has a trip planned for next year, so she's tuning in to try and find out a few things about where we're going tonight. And so we're back in the States and we're back out west, but this time Northwest, and we're going to Alaska. And so you might ask, what is on the menu? Tonight, we are going to have Alaska green salad, sauteed Alaskan king crab, pan-fried baked salmon. We're going to have baked halibut. We're going to have Alaska mixed berry cobbler. And then we're going to finish off the dinner with the Alaska, which is a drink. So let's get to it. We're going to start off with the Alaska mixed berry cobbler. And for that, I have 2.5 cups of mixed berries. I have raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries. I have 1 cup of sugar. I have 1 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. Oh, that's the salad, but that's okay too. I have 1 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of butter melted, and I have the oven set for 375. So what we're going to do first is we're going to mix the berries with the sugar. Okay. And I'm just going to put these out of the way, put these off to the side. Okay, because we need our space. And then what we're going to do is get the sugar, pour the sugar in there. I'll get rid of this too. Why not? And just mix this, give this a good mix. And this will coat the berries. And you can see it's just clinging right to it. I did rinse off the berries right before the show, so they're a little wet and they're liking the berries. Okay. And then we're going to mix the flour and the milk and the baking soda. I think it's baking soda, baking powder. So you know I'm not really a baker, right? So I get those things confused. And 1/2 cup of butter. And I get that in there. So I'm going to get these out of the way. And then I am going to give this a quick mix with the beater, because I want this batter to be nice and smooth and combined, because we all know I'm not the perfect baker. So.
Oh, I'm sure it still tastes amazing.
Absolutely. You know,
I have no problem testing if you so need.
I'm telling you, I'm the first one that say my desserts are ugly, but they're always good. So can't complain there. And then that's gonna drip a little bit, but that's okay. Now you're going to add the berries. Okay, and you're just gonna mix it all up. We'll get this out of the way too. Move this over here. Then give that a good stir. And then we're gonna put it in this prepared pan here, or whatever you want to call it. It is a baking dish. You can use whatever pan you want. Okay, so there you have that. And I think I'm gonna have enough room for the cake to grow, and hopefully it won't, overflow. Because if it does, it'll be interesting. We'll get this out. And I'm gonna put this in to a 375 oven for 45 minutes, or about that. So here we go. And I'm gonna put this down below because I'm gonna put 45 minutes on here. Because as you know, the other dishes, except for the crab, are gonna be in the oven. And that would be the salmon and the halibut. So Okay, now I want to, what's the next thing on the menu? That would be the halibut. So I'm gonna just push this out of the way for now. And I'll move that in a little bit when I need the food processor over here. But why don't we bring up a slide?
Okay.
Okay, so the first slide would be to show you Alaska and where it is in regards to the states. While you're doing that, Ashley, I'm going to actually start some butter melted in one of the pans. Let me see. What pan would work best? I think the salmon. So I will use the bigger one for, see, I'll use the bigger one for the halibut. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna heat this up. I'm gonna get that going. I'm gonna put how many sticks of butter? 1 stick of butter. So I'm gonna put this in. And so do you have the slide up?
I have it ready to go. It's right here.
Okay. Okay. So as you can see, there's Alaska, there's the United States, right? And then you go to the next slide, and then you'll see where Nome is, and then you'll see where Gamble is. Now, Gamble.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are the 2 places we started off the trip with. And I have to say, this is really cool because when I was at Logan Airport waiting to board the plane, the pilot walked by and saw me sitting down there. And when I got on the plane, I was sitting in coach, and he must have said to the stewardess, hey, bump her up to first class, only because it wasn't full and it was a long flight. So I got to fly from Boston to Anchorage first class, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, because how long is that flight? I bet it's.
Yeah, it was long. I can't recall exactly, but yeah, it was a good lengthy trip. And then we from Anchorage flew up to Nome. So on that map, you can see where Nome is very tiny. But if you go to the next slide, you'll see the area of Nome. I gotta check my butter over here. Okay, and this is still melting pretty good. So I'm gonna keep that going. Excuse me. So if you go to the next slide, Ashley.
There we are.
Yeah, so you'll see it's pretty vast.
And pretty snowy. Yup.
Yeah, and snowy is right. So you go to the next slide. We went there in July, so the snow wasn't there. But if you go to the next slide, you can see that's kind of like Main Street down there. And let's see, I'm going to actually turn this down just a little bit.
Jeepers. It really looks like a little Santa's village.
Oh, exactly. It's really something. You go to the next slide. Now, the next slide is the ending of the Iditarod. So
Nice.
The dog sled race, the town is where the race ends. So, they go however long it is. But that's where they end. There's the finish line.
1,049 miles.
There you go. And dogs are pulling those sleds. So
that's
a
long
pretty amazing trip. So we were there in July, and that's when they have daylight pretty much around the clock. So between 11 and 1 was their dark time, but it was like not even dusk because it was still light. And no matter where we were, we had trouble sleeping. No matter what you had on the windows, it was just so bright. So So that was a little difficult. And in the winter, I'm going to add this to the pan, this beautiful halibut. Isn't this beautiful? And
Yes.
there's a story
Look at
about
that piece. Wow.
There's a story about this because when we were there, I love Alaskan king crab, and that's all I was going to eat 24/7. Alaskan king crab. We get there, it's out of season. I couldn't have it at all. So we ate a lot of halibut, a lot of different ways, and we ate a lot of salmon, including one right out of the Bering Sea. It was like crazy. So here's the halibut. It's going in the pan. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to let this cook for maybe 5 minutes or so. And then I'm going to put that in the oven, okay? While that's cooking, and before I start the salmon, just a little story about the next slide. Now, I went with a bunch of bird watchers, and that bird that you see there is a peregrine falcon, and they're endangered. And so they had a nest in the rocks in this swamp that nobody really knows about. The birders told the birders where this bird was. And all we want to do is go find the bird and take pictures of it. Now, we're driving down this road, kid you not, in our car, we are pulled over by a plane. A plane pulls down in front of us on the road. Sky Patrol comes out, walks over to the car. Excuse me, what are you people doing? And of course, we're not going to tell them we're trying to find this falcon. So because they get poached, right? They're endangered. So he said, well, okay, as long as that's all you're doing, whatever. So they took off. We got to the spot. We had to put netting on because as we went into the swamp, the mosquitoes were so thick. If you didn't have that netting on, you would have breathed it in and died.
Oh my goodness.
Kid you not, crazy. So, and this is looking pretty good. This is looking really good. And all the dishes tonight, I have to say, guys, they're simple because that's how it is there, right? It's like you're not cooking all these fancy things, especially when we get to Gamble, but that's another thing. We're almost there. So, so we went and we saw the falcon and we got pictures of it. It was just amazing. So then we go back and we're back in Nome, and you go to the next slide and you see a picture of Bering Air. Now, this was how we were going to go from Nome to Gamble. Now, if you remember on the map, Gamble is 38 miles from Russia. So, and we went in July. And so we had, now these are bush pilots who flew with Bering Air, and they don't fly with instruments. So the weather has to be good. So there were 2 days, weather was bad, we couldn't go. And all we kept on hearing was Savunga worse, Savunga worse. And Savunga was on the other side of Gamble from where we were going to fly. But that's where the plane was landing. So we had to wait for the weather to clear in Savunga, and then we were able to get into this plane with the bush pilot and go to Gamble. Now,
and that was in July.
This was in July. Now, if you go to the next slide, you will see this is a picture of Gamble. It's in the wintertime, but I chose this slide so you could see how vast and how spaced out these houses were. And these houses are prefab. no running water on the island, and there are Eskimos. What we would call Eskimos, they're called, Indians, maybe native. Hold on 1 second. The skin is looking pretty good. I am going to now put this in the oven because this will cook. And the rest of this will bake in here. And I'm going to heat up. In fact, I'll put this over here. I'm going to melt another stick of butter for the salmon. Okay, so I'm going to get that going. And here's beautiful salmon, right? So I was at, and I'm not plugging any stores, but I was at Whole Foods, and the woman had a salmon that was about this big. I said, oh my God, that's beautiful. Can you cut me 2 pieces? Which she did, 2 steaks. Story there is when we were in Gamble, Doug, my ex, went onto the Bering Sea with a couple of Eskimos, and they fished for salmon, and they came out with the salmon this big, and we had that for dinner, and it was just amazing. It was the best salmon I ever had.
I bet it could feed the whole crew, huh?
Oh yeah, it did. And the thing is, these Eskimos, because it's so cold there and the Bering Sea is freezing, they don't know how to swim. They never learn how to swim. So if they're on the boat on the ocean and they fall into the water, they drown.
Oh.
Okay. So that's how that goes. If you go to the next slide.
Yeah, I can't imagine swimming lessons in the Bering Sea.
Yeah, exactly. And no running water. So if you can imagine,
no pool.
We'll get to that in a moment. But that next slide, you'll see someone riding on a motorcycle. You see the roads? The roads are filled with little pebbles. And no matter where you walk or where you drive, they were all driving around in ATVs. You're on pebbles, and it's very difficult, but that's what they do. And if you go on to the next slide, you'll see this is inside one of the prefab houses, and you can see very simple, very plain, nothing to it, really, and no running water. So they had what they called honey pots for your number 1. And when you had to go number 2, you had to go to the ocean and do what you have to do and bury what you did. It was just really amazing, and we were there for about 4 days. You're not allowed to bring alcohol onto the island because there's so much alcoholism because of the weather and the 6 months of darkness, 6 months of lightness. There's a big alcohol problem there. So you're not allowed to bring any of that in. And then you go to the next slide, and you will see a whale carcass, and they are allowed to hunt whale and walruses for sustenance. So when they catch one, they bring it, and all the villagers go, and they take the meat. And further on, you'll see what they do with that. And then the next slide is a walrus. Carcass. And, it's like art, right? It's like beautiful. I'm going to put this salmon in the cast iron pan. And I'm going to cook this for about 3-4 minutes. And then I'm going to carefully flip it. And then I'll finish it off in the oven. So we're moving right along, right? Isn't it?
I was going to say, it's probably starting to smell really good over there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you go to the next slide and you see this is a cemetery. And we were pre-warned. It was like, if you take one thing from this cemetery, you'll be arrested.
Wow.
Because they leave things it's kind of like a burial site. It is a burial site, and they leave things at little things
Sure. Yeah. Love
for the dead.
ones
Right,
things.
right. So,
I bet even those rocks, mean
oh,
something. So I'm sure even
exactly.
rocks can't be removed.
Exactly. So, so that was very interesting and beautiful and sacred because that's what they do. You go to the next slide and you see a walrus.
Yeah.
Now you see those tusks?
Yeah.
Back when I went, it was not illegal to buy scrimshawed carved tusks, but that's what they did, and that's how they made their money. They would take a tusk and make a cribbage board or little figurines out of the ivory. And no matter where you went, Nome, Anchorage, Gamble, they were selling it and they were making it right in front of you. And getting back to the whale meat, we had one night where we had whale meat in the house. And there was this little Eskimo boy, and he was eating the whale meat and just going to town on it. And it was very bloody. And he had blood like all over his face from, like how you'd see our kids eat barbecue ribs, right? And you know how they get the barbecue sauce all over their face? Well, picture blood. And I'd be looking at these kids and going, boy, this just doesn't look right. But God bless them because, it's like wonderful. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see what they do with the meat. And they dry it and they hang it. And yep. And no matter where you go on the island, you see this. And you go to the next one.
Now, is this salmon right here?
This is it. It most likely is. You go to the next one, and it's all different kinds, right?
Yeah.
And they do have, different fish, but that's how they do it. They dry it outside, hanging, but they also cure it in barrels for months. And if you take the cover off and smell it, one person did that on the trip, they almost passed out. It was like so pungent. It was really interesting. So let's see. I'm gonna see how this looks. I'm gonna let that go a few more minutes. So of course, we left there and went back to Nome, and then we flew back down to Anchorage. And if you pull up the next slide, you'll see when we landed in Anchorage, we drove up to Denali National Park, and it was quite the drive. It was so funny, quick little funny story. We're driving up and we kept on seeing these mountain men on the road. And, no matter where we stopped, we see this one particular mountain guy, and he was like 8 foot. He was a big guy. And no matter where we went, we'd see him. So anyway, one night, halfway up there, we stayed at this, I don't even know if you can call it a hotel because it was just this big building with rooms and beds in it, separate rooms. And there was this bar down right next door. So we go down, we had a bite to eat, we're having a drink, and there's a pool table, and all these mountain guys are playing pool. So Doug and I, we go up, and one of the mountain guys goes, "Oh, hey, you guys want to play?" So Doug and I were like, "Yeah, sure, we'll play." Now, I had never played with Doug. So the mountain guy hit one, he sank a couple. Then Doug went, he sank one. And then the other guy went, he sank one. I got up and I must have sank No kidding. I think I sang 3, no, had to be like 6. I just kept on hitting them. And so the mountain guy looked at Doug and he goes, "Oh, so what do you do?" And he goes, "Well, I practice law and I learned new things about my wife," because he never saw me play pool. And of course, I used to play with my dad and my brothers, so it was kind of funny.
I love that. That's the way to show them.
Absolutely. And so then we finally get to Denali, and if you pull up the next slide, that is the slide that shows the park. Okay, I'm going to turn these very carefully. Okay, these are looking really good. Let those go for a few minutes. Now, this just depicts the park, right? So you go and you check in, and they give you lessons about what to do if you see a bear. You never run. If the bear approaches you, you lie down. Hopefully you have a backpack on your back in case they pounce on you, at least a little protection. And you go to the next slide and you'll see these buses. So, and that's a caribou, by the way. You get on the bus and you're riding through the park, and if you see an animal that you want to get off and take pictures of, they drive you a quarter mile down the road and let you off the bus. So you walk back so you don't disturb the animals, okay? So you kind of like walk, they can't hear you. Maybe they can, but that's how they do it. So what they call, there are 5 prevalent animals in the park that people call the Denali Slam. And for the Denali Slam, if you go to the next slide, you have your moose. Now, these things, no matter where you are in the park, you see them, right? Yep, so that's a moose. You go to the next slide, and then you'll see a caribou. And you can tell the antlers, so you can tell the difference between the moose and the caribou. Now, the next one is a Dall sheep. Now, this is the 3rd one on the Denali Slam. So we're on what they call a hill. We would call a mountain. We're on a mountain, on a hill, precariously perched on the hill, taking pictures of a Dall sheep family across the way. And, Doug's taking pictures, and all of a sudden we turn around, we hear this click, 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 and go to the next slide. We turn around, and no kidding, you see this picture? That's exactly how it was. They were 10 feet from us. They started coming down the hill. Well,
so no fear.
I'm telling you, Doug couldn't change his lenses fast enough to get the pictures of the 10 feet from us. It was just crazy. So those are the 3rd, that's the 3rd animal on the Denali Slam. I am going to put this in the oven now. And this is the salmon. This will go in. I'm going to check on the halibut. Halibut is looking beautiful. And let me tell you, the cake's looking good. Halibut's looking good. The salmon's looking good. And it all smells delicious. Let me tell you. This right here, I'm going to get a plate for the next fish, which is the Alaskan king crab. What I want to do is I am going to turn on the heat in the back here. And actually, I think I'm going to use this. A little more room here. I'm going to use that. I'm going to melt 2 sticks of butter. Okay. Now, you can do crab any which way you want, right? But I just want to show you a couple of things. So I have 1 pound of Alaskan king crab and 2 sticks of butter in the pan. Now, as I told you, right, these were not in season, and I loved it. Lobster is my all-time favorite, but Alaskan king crab is right below it. What you want to do and how it's easy to open these. Now, Mike, and they're very prickly, so you got to be careful. Okay, very sharp. These are from Alaska, by the way. You want to cut by the knuckle, and then on these, right, you can break this and pull, and a lot of times the meat will come right out. So I'm not going to cut these at all because we'll enjoy that tonight and do that there. But this, I don't know if you can see this. If you take a knife, carefully split the shell, right?
Yeah.
And open it up carefully. You see how nicely that opens up?
Yes. A
So
lot
then-
easier than when you're eating it.
Yes. So then you want to cut this into a couple of inches so that when they go into the pan, all the butter gets in. You've got the knuckle meat here, which is good. You've got the claw meat. And I'm not going to, I am not going to, what am I not going to do? I'm not going to cut myself, number one.
Yes, that would be a good one.
Yeah. There we go. I'm going to leave these pretty much intact, but I am going to flip them so that the butter can get inside. You can see that.
Now this, yeah, probably my favorite as well, I have to admit.
Yes, I'm going to turn down the heat because we're just going to saute them, get them, we're going to leave those, or maybe cut these. Want to pretty much leave these, but the big one I'll just open up a little bit for the butter. And you want to be very careful when you're doing this, because as you know, Mike gets really nervous when he sees me with a knife. Okay, so let me get rid of these.
Don't worry, I won't tell on you.
Thank you. And I'm just going to go like that. And then I'm going to just put these in the pan. Okay. And then I'm just going to coat the butter on them. And I'm just going to let them saute in the butter so that when we sit down, you don't really even have to have butter on the side, right?
I don't know. I think I have to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I know. Sop it up, let it soak there, and it's just wonderful, isn't it? Okay, so moving right along, we're coming up to the bear. Okay. And not a funny story, but like I said, they tell you not to run. We're on the bus and we're going by a field and there's a bear in the field and there are 2 people, like maybe 100 yards from the bear, maybe 2, and they start running. And we see the bear take off for these two people, and we're like freaking out. We're like going, what are they doing? Don't they know they're not supposed to run? Nothing happened to them, but it was really scary. If you go to the next slide, and they're brown bears, they're beautiful.
Definitely.
Yeah, you go to the next slide, and here's a funny story. So you see this picture, a family, right? But you see the top of the hill. Now picture a person where the bears are, and there's a bear on the top of the hill, and someone's taking pictures, right?
Okay.
Way too close. They tell you not to get close. They tell you not to get within, I think, 200 feet. This guy was like 100 feet, and he's clicking, clicking, clicking. And I won't tell you who the guy was. And the bear all of a sudden turned around. Now, their sense of smell is incredible. This bear picked up this person's scent, and he hunched his shoulders. And I guess they do that before they pounce and run.
Ooh.
But the guy with the camera didn't care. He was like, oh, ran out of film. I got to put another roll of film. So he's standing there changing another film. And I'm going, oh, that doesn't look too good. But the bear became uninterested. And he just turned around and walked away. But you just never know. So.
Well, I guess thank goodness he decided he wasn't worth the.
Yeah, he didn't smell that
Fish smell, maybe.
That enticing, you know?
Yeah.
The bear was probably going, yeah, no, I don't think he tastes good. I'm going away. So, and then the last animal on the Denali slam is the wolf. So,
Right.
yeah, so that's the next slide that you'll see. The little wolf pack there, and just beautiful. And so no matter where you go in the park, you're going to see things, right? And then you go to the next slide, you're going to see a red fox.
Oh.
And they're beautiful. They're just gorgeous. And then the next slide is the golden eagle. And you see them flying around. It's just amazing. So
And they're big too, right?
Yeah, they are. They are. They're just beautiful. These crab legs are, you know, they're just looking really good. They smell delicious. And they look real appetizing. That's the word I was looking for with the bear.
Right.
Did not smell appetizing.
They did not smell like crab legs.
Yes, that's right. So, so the whole time we're in the park, you know, we're looking for Mount McKinley. Now you're supposed to be able to see it from the park. And we couldn't, you know, the fog, the weather, whatever it was, we couldn't see it. And so before we left, the day we're leaving, we stopped at the gift shop and we're like, well, we might as well buy some slides of Mount McKinley because we should have a picture of it. And as we're leaving the park, didn't we get to see it? It's like the clouds parted, the fog lifted, whatever it was, and there it was. So we got our own pictures of Mount McKinley, but now it's called Mount Denali. And I'm not sure I like that, you know, because of the park. It's, why do they do that? It's like, I don't know. And I don't know why they changed it. So now it's called Mount Denali, but to me, it'll always be McKinley, right?
I didn't know that they changed the name. That's
Yeah, it's really, really strange. Excuse me, I don't know what else, you know, what else is up with that. Here I have a wonderful dish of lemons with all this fish we're gonna have and butter. And again, just simple, you know, because it's unpretentious. It's just basic and beautiful, no matter where you go. And the people are wonderful. The scenery is breathtaking. Just mountains of woods and trees and just crazy, crazy beautiful. What I'm going to do, because I think we have a little time, I'm going to make the Alaska.
Ooh.
Now, the Alaska, oh, goodness. I have to, one thing I did forget to get, excuse me, I have to get my trusty little mixer that I forgot to bring out. Okay. The Alaska is a drink from Alaska. They drink it in Alaska. Oh, did you see my gnome cookbook?
I did. Yes, I did. Love it.
It's like no matter where I go, I try to buy a cookbook. I think I counted my cookbooks recently. Chris, what was the number? Was it 700?
Over 7.
Yeah, it was over 7. I think it was 800 something cookbooks in my, that's how I normally get my menus and my recipes. Yeah, I have quite the collection.
How do you remember where they all are?
Oh, bookcases in my bedroom.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got 6 of them, 6 bookcases that are full of cookbooks.
I bet full of amazing cookbooks.
Yeah. So the Alaska is made of 1.5 ounces of gin, a 1/2 ounce of yellow chartreuse, which I couldn't find anywhere. This is Strega, which is Italian, and it's the closest thing to yellow chartreuse. So that's what I'm using. You can also use Galliano. The Galliano has a really licoricey taste. This is more citrusy. So we have that, and then we have a dash of bitters, orange bitters. So you have to be careful. You have to make sure it's orange. See, citrus, orange, and then lemon. We've got thick slices of lemon. So we're going to put in 1.5 ounces of gin, which I know I'm making 2 drinks, so I'm going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do 2 and 1 more. So there's 1 and 1/2. Okay. And then 1/2 ounce of yellow chartreuse, which I'm using. If you like gin, Bombay Sapphire, doesn't even taste like gin. It is so smooth, so delicious. Best martini maker, because again, it doesn't taste like gin, goes down real easy. Strega, so 1/2 ounce of these. So I need 4, no, 2, right? Is that
3,
right?
I think you made 1 more for good luck.
Yeah, but you have to be careful with the whatchamacallit, the measurements to make sure it's okay. So if I had 4, 2, that would be 4, and I've got 4 of the gin, right? So that works. And then a dash. So 1, 2, 3, 4, a little more than 4, right? Okay. And smells really good. Now, I made one of these the other night, and I have to tell you, it is so, I mean, you can tell why they call it the Alaska, because it burns going down, and it must, well, gently, nicely.
But it might warm you up if you're cold.
That's it. That's it.
Now you just need a Saint Bernard to bring it to you under his chin there.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
probably exactly what they had. Something like that to warm your insides quick, huh?
Absolutely. And so this, I have to say, is a potent drink. And so you want to sip it. And I don't even know if you could finish this in a sitting. And it would be quite all right to put this in the fridge if you couldn't finish it and pick it up because nothing's going to dilute it. Here's a thick lemon slice. You're just going to let that sit in there and kind of marinate. Here's
Cheers.
tasting and really quick. I want to give it a quick taste. Oh, that is so nice and smooth. But after it goes down, it's like you can feel it. It's like really, really nice. So that's what the Eskimos and everybody else is keeping warm with.
I believe it. I believe it.
That is really good. Okay, so I am going to, this is on low. Okay, that's looking good. Everything's looking really good. Beautiful. We've got 4 minutes left on the cake. And so I am going to, I need some of these for when I bring out the cast iron pans. Well, actually, I think I'm going to plate them, the fish. But let's make the salad, okay? So for the salad, I have some bib butter lettuce. I have cucumbers, English cucumbers. I have eggs. And the eggs, I'm going to need a little plate because I want to cut those in half to plate them. So I'll do that as I'm plating them. I have some asparagus. I have basil leaves. Excuse me. I have avocado, which, you know, got a little oxidized. I did put lemon on it. I have snap peas. I have okra, which I cooked and blanched. I blanched the asparagus too. And so right here, I'm going to lay the lettuce down. And I'm keeping the leaves pretty much whole. Okay. Nice and soft. Beautiful. Get rid of this. Then 2 minutes to the cake. I'll take a look at it in a second. The asparagus, you just, and here it is, the Alaska green salad, right? No tomatoes.
No.
Nope, all green. Everything in this salad is green. Avocados, you like avocados?
I personally don't, but my boys do.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Wow.
I know. Usually that's a more of an adult acquired thing, but my middle child, he actually has a pretty good palate for. He's willing to try anything.
I love it. Snap peas, I'm just gonna float around, right? Now, snap peas, who doesn't like these, right?
Right.
Right. They're so snappy and delicious.
And noisy.
Look at this. Yes, basil leaves. And you're going to leave them whole because when you plate this on your plate, you're going to get a mouthful and it's going to be beautiful. We have, I got the cake I gotta grab. We've got the blanched asparagus. I'm going to just put about 3 or 4 together so that when we go to grab some, you can grab a bunch. And then the okra. And if I can, I am going to, well, I am going to just, they tend to get a little sticky. Now, from the juice inside, I did blanch them and boil them for 10 minutes. So these are very nice. Just gonna put these around. You see these a lot in Southern cooking.
Yes.
I think that's good. I'm going to rinse my hand and then take the cake out of the oven. Gonna see how that's coming along. Let's see. I'll get this out. Okay, the fish looks beautiful. Oh, and I'd say the cake is done. I'm gonna leave the fish in for a few minutes. But look at this.
Oh, yay, yum.
Yum. Yum is right. And I'm gonna put this on a pot holder. I guess I should have done that first, but it's pretty good. Okay, I'll let that sit there while I finish up the salad. Got some cucumbers. Woo, all over the place. So this is kind of looking like Mount McKinley, right?
With the snow, like the cucumbers could be the snow.
With the Denali, there you go. And then the eggs, hard-boiled eggs, 6 of them. You just want to cut them in half. Okay. And I absolutely love hard-boiled eggs. I love any kind of eggs, actually. I was thinking,
me too.
sometime, some country, I have to think about this brunch. We should do a brunch meal. Right? Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll have to.
We
see.
have breakfast for dinner at our house kind
Love
of
it.
frequently. You could always do that.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely. Now, let me get rid of these. Put these over here. And I think the last thing I have to do is that beautiful?
Yes.
That is just great. I'm going to switch appliances over here. And what we're going to do is we are going to make the dressing. Now, for the dressing, I think I mentioned what we have. We have a cup and a half of plain yogurt, 3 flat anchovies, 1 cup of basil leaves, a half a cup of Italian parsley, 4 scallions chopped, a 1/4 cup of fresh mint. We have 1 large garlic clove chopped, juice of 1 lime plus the zest, and you really want the zest because it really just snaps. And 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything in the food processor, and we are going to just pulse it. And let's see, the scallions. This is beautiful. And I have to say, when you can, use fresh herbs because I mean, the smell is incredible. It is just too much. Now, dried herbs are fine, but nothing like it with the garlic. Of course, we've got lime slices that we can garnish over here. So let's see how this goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see this? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, that happened quick.
Ah. Woo. This. Oh my.
Really time for the smell-o-vision, huh?
Oh my. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now here's the trick, which is always a little difficult, but I did it, and I'm just going to pour it right over the salad. Can you see that?
Yes.
Is that beautiful? So that when you
Lovely.
dig into this, all you have to do.
Our newscast airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 and 10 p.m. And we need your heads up on what we should be covering for our viewers. Email us at news@hcam.tv or call us at 508-435-7887. Be an HCAM Newshound today and see your name in the credits of HCAM News. Hello, welcome to HCAM Insights. Did you know that Hopkinton's television station has a virtual plethora of virtual methods to keep you connected to everything Hopkinton? In addition to our TV channels and website, we have a monster Facebook presence, daily email updates, a Twitter account, an RSS feed, and a little button for Google+. And yes, I don't know what that one does either. But anyway, if it's Hopkinton's social media you're looking for HCAM.
We are Greyhound Friends. Our mission is to rescue greyhounds and other sighthounds from around the world. If you'd like to come adopt one, please visit our shelter at 167 Saddle Hill Road. We're celebrating our 40th anniversary.
Hello, welcome to HCAM Insights. Did you know that Hopkinton's television station has members? And I am not currently referring to the crew that make our shows. I mean our nonprofit organizational members, the volunteer groups that contribute to the life of Hopkinton. We are honored that they value what we do enough to pay membership dues, and that's why we go all out to keep you connected and informed about their events and activities.
Hi, welcome to Great Gardens.
Just make sure that you water regularly and through November.
So I think we can go ahead and start backfilling here.
I think fall is one of the best times to plant roses.
When you can squeeze your soil and hold it together, that's good.
Hello, welcome to HCAM Insights. Did you know that Hopkinton's television station has a website with all kinds of Hopkinton information just waiting for you? We have growing sections for business listings and community groups, a comprehensive veterans area, local news, lots of pictures of life in Hopkinton, hours and hours of television programming, naturally, and lots of other things that won't fit into this update. I should do an update about this update.
Hi, welcome to Great Gardens.
Just make sure that you water regularly and through November.
So I think we can go ahead and start backfilling here.
I think fall is one of the best times to plant roses.
When you can squeeze your soil and hold it together, that's good.
Hello, welcome to HCAM Insights. Did you know that Hopkinton's television station has members? And I am not currently referring to the crew that make our shows. I mean our nonprofit organizational members, the volunteer groups that contribute to the life of Hopkinton. We are honored that they value what we do enough to pay membership dues, and that's why we go all out to keep you connected and informed about their events and activities.
What would you do if someone gave you a television station? Would you run a camera? Host your own program? Would you like to be a director or edit shows? Maybe you'd be a big-time producer. Your station is ready for action. Start your media adventure with the workshops at HCAM, from setting lights to directing talent to editing. If you're interested in having fun and making a difference in your community, why not do it on TV? Join our crew and get your own piece of the action.
Hello, welcome to HCAM Insights. Did you know that Hopkinton's television station has its very own newscast? Just like one of those big shot TV stations up in Boston. Ours is just like theirs, but all our news is about Hopkinton. Look for newscasts, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, airing at 6 and 10 p.m. In 1/2 hour, we'll keep you up to date on everything Hopkinton. Not a good time for you? Not to worry. All the latest is also online at hcam.tv. Hello, welcome to HCAM Insights. Did you know that Hopkinton's television station has a special online calendar called the Hopkinton Planner? What makes it so special is that it is updated and kept timely by the community groups dedicated to making Hopkinton the great place that it is. Here at HCAM, we strive to power the communications of our local clubs and organizations, and this is one important way we do that. So please, check it out. Hello, welcome to HCAM Insights. Did you know that Hopkinton's television station has a virtual plethora of virtual methods to keep you connected to everything Hopkinton? In addition to our TV channels and website, we have a monster Facebook presence, daily email updates, a Twitter account, an RSS feed, and a little button for Google+. And yes, I don't know what that one does either. But anyway, if it's Hopkinton's social media you're looking for HCAM.
Just a minute, folks.
It's Dive-In Drive-In time, and we got a great Western for you today.
Dive-In Drive-In is a new program featuring the HCAM staff's favorite B movies. We hope you enjoy these treasured films of yesteryear.